The boy you're about to hear is just 4 years old. His name is Dameon Huffman. 1 hour before this police interview, Dameon was living a happy life with his grandparents on a quiet farm in rural Ohio. But on the morning of March 27, 2003, he appeared at his daycare alone in pajamas covered in blood. His words made no sense at first until police checked the farm and found both grandparents shot dead in their beds. The killer had vanished, and Dameon was the only witness. Bradford, Ohio. Population, small enough for everyone to know your name. Dameon had lived with his great-grandparents, Jack and Linda Myers, since birth. They raised him as their own. His mother, Amber, was just a teenager when he was born. Jack and Linda were deeply loved in the community. They ran a small pizza shop, hosted big family dinners, and their farm was the heart of every holiday. Jack and Dameon were inseparable, riding tractors together, exploring the fields, and laughing endlessly. Life was good until it wasn't. March 27 started like any other except it didn't. At 9:15 am, a 911 dispatcher answered an unusual call from Dameon's preschool teacher. A little boy had arrived alone, covered in blood, saying something about his melting grandparents. Police rushed to the Myers farmhouse. The front door was wide open. Inside was silence, too much silence. Then, in the bedroom they found Jack and Linda. Both had been shot at close range. The warmth of their bodies suggested it had happened only hours earlier. Whoever did this was gone. Back at the daycare, officers placed Dameon under police supervision. With a killer still on the loose, even family members were potential suspects. Amber, Dameon's mother, was told the devastating news but wasn't allowed to see her son. He was now a key witness and a target. Investigators expected signs of a break-in or theft, but the cash, purses, credit cards, and electronics were untouched. This wasn't a burglary gone wrong, it was an execution, and likely someone close to the family. A neighbor mentioned someone, Greg Myers, Jack's son from his first marriage. Greg was close to his father, had no criminal record, and had even been best man at Jack's wedding. He seemed like the last person capable of murder. Greg was questioned. He had an alibi, at work, 30 miles away, with a signed time sheet. His shoe size didn't match the prints at the scene. He even offered to take a lie detector test. Investigators had nothing until Dameon began to talk. That morning, Dameon had woken up alone, a strange feeling. His grandparents were always there to get him ready for preschool. When he went downstairs, he saw them unresponsive, bleeding. To his young mind, it looked like they were melting. He tried calling 911 but the phone line was dead. The killer had cut it, so he ran over a mile to his daycare for help. Using a dollhouse to help Dameon recall events, detectives uncovered the missing detail. Before he went downstairs, a man had entered his room. He wore a green jumpsuit and carried a shotgun. Dameon pretended to be asleep. Minutes later, the man was gone but his grandparents were dead. 5 miles away, police recovered a 12-gauge shotgun from the Stillwater River. The serial number had been sended off, but forensic experts restored it, tracing it to a classified ad from 2 days before the murders. The buyer's name, Greg Myers. Greg's finances were collapsing. His house was in foreclosure, and investigators discovered that if Jack and Linda died, Greg would inherit the farm. A second search of the river revealed a tied garbage bag. Inside, a green jumpsuit matching Dameon's description, latex gloves with Greg's fingerprint, 12-gauge slugs identical to those used in the murders, tennis shoes matching the killer's footprints at the scene, smaller than Greg's size, suggesting a deliberate attempt to mislead investigators. The evidence was overwhelming. Greg was arrested. In April 2004, Greg Myers went on trial for the murders of his father and stepmother. He pled not guilty, but the jury took just hours to convict him on 2 counts of aggravated murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The motive, pure greed. Dameon, now safe, moved in with his mother just as they had planned before the murders. He started kindergarten that year, carrying the love of his grandparents with him. Today, Dameon is 22 years old, a hardworking young man with a bright future. His bravery as a 4-year-old helped solve a double homicide and bring justice to his family. Jack and Linda's legacy lives on through him, the boy who refused to stay silent and whose courage ended a killer's escape.